this section, we're covering the heavy topic of mandatory reporting and safety. And this is a heavy topic. So before we begin, just take a deep breath with me. We're gonna get through this, but this is actually really important, needed info. So I think this will answer a lot of the questions and concerns you have, but stick with me as we run through this info on mandatory reporting and safety. And so when you join the team as a youth leader, you are actually now a mandated reporter. And I'm gonna run through what those categories actually are. But as a leader in general, physical contact should probably be brief and appropriate. Side hugs, high fives, fist bumps. Don't give a student a ride in your car alone under any circumstances. It is inappropriate to be alone with students of the opposite sex and have ongoing communication with them in person, text, or email. Social media even, it just won't be tolerated. One-on-one meetings off campus should be in public spaces, should be communicated to parents and coaches beforehand. Trust in the staff and support the vision. This is vital to the success of you as a leader. If you have any concerns while serving, bring them directly to your coach or to a staff member. If a legal charge is brought against you, you must discuss this with us immediately. If you can't maintain the expectations of the leader set forth in this course, please schedule a meeting to discuss anything you have with your coach or a staff member to talk further about this. The truth is, our students' safety is paramount to us. If they can't be safe, then they can't clearly hear from God. So we've got some rules we've got in place for this. There's multiple times where things have gone awry between leaders and students, and you will be excused from serving with minors if that does happen. When it comes to mandatory reporting, you are legally now a mandated reporter. We are commanded by law to legally report a case of neglect or abuse to the authorities. So if the student is in an unsafe environment, we have to report that. But we do not want you to do it alone. Contact a staff member immediately. Never promise to keep anything secret between you and the student. If there is an instance where you need to tell someone else in order to find or help them, you will. Communicate that to them. You do that because you love them, and if we don't communicate it, it means we're not caring for them and their safety. It will remain in confidence, but if you need to find help, you will. So if there is abuse, neglect, abandonment, or exploitation happening within their family and in their relationships, we have to report that. Abuse includes non-accidental injuries. Sexual abuse. Sexual acts are performed with a child, including sexual acts of child pornography or other crude acts. Neglect. Not getting necessary care, adequate food or shelter or clothing. Emotional abuse. It's evident by severe anxiety, depression, withdrawal, and inappropriate aggressive behavior as being diagnosed by a medical professional. This could be caused by acts of omission. There's use of a child for material gain. That's exploitation. Abandonment, failure to provide reasonable support or care. Those have to be reported. There's suicidal ideation, threats, or attempts. There's a thought-out plan to take action that has not been reported yet. There's previous suicide attempts that have not been reported. There's a preoccupation with death. Keep eyes on students who are withdrawing from family and others, beginning to deepen their isolation. If there's a sudden change in behavior, they're giving up on school, removing themselves from things that they once enjoyed, they're sleepless, or doing nothing but sleeping, these are all possible indications that something is going on with them. There's self-harm, self-injury, or cutting. Cutting is characterized by small linear cuts on his or her body that are typically on the arms and forearms or legs. They're not usually suicidal, but it's a coping mechanism. They're tired with feeling numb, they're trying to feel something. If you see it, you report it. It's very addictive. It's similar form to drug addiction, and it's contagious. The ideation gives the others ideas to start. Maybe they're wearing clothes in a season that's inappropriate. It's often also accompanied by eating disorders. Okay, so all of this is really heavy. But what does this mean for me? Am I a watchdog? Part of this is we care for their health in all areas. Teens are still forming and they need a safe place. They need an adult who cares and knows them and speaks into these moments. If you see these, tell a coach and staff. We will walk through the process of CPS or local authorities if it's sexual abuse. No, we will talk through and in some cases make the report for you. What you do not want to do is hold back from telling us because you do not want to betray the student. We do not want them to continue on in this harm. That's actually the real betrayal of trust. This is a strong form of love to protect them from others and even from themselves. If you have questions, talk to your coach and/or your staff member.